Are we rolling? Hi, I'm Bill Ritchie, and I'm in our Perfect Art Museum. And the other day I was clearing off some books from our shelf when I came across this book by Walter Karp called Indispensable Enemies. It's a very good book, but I discovered inside the book all my reading notes. And I thought, oh dear, I never got these reading notes into my computer, into this project. And I thought, well, I'm going to sit down and insert these reading notes. But I thought I'd also use an opportunity to show off one of the features in our art museum, which goes back to this 1988, when Carl Chu and I worked together on a project called The Art Student. It was going to be a software program. It was about the time that Microsoft was coming out with the encyclopedia and all these different things. And Carl and I decided there should be a DVD, or in those days, a CD-ROM, for art students, that every incoming freshman art student would get this disc, and it would have everything they needed to know from a professor like myself. And part of that reading notes database, was what we call it now, were all my reading notes from all the books that I read, at least in part, and out of which I took notes. And I was a great note taker. I always, kept 3x5 cards in my book, and that's where I found these notes by Walter Karp. And this book, called Indispensable Enemies, was a good read. Anyway, I'm going to screen record the outcome of this project that Carl and I did, because I can go back into the database to the art student project and dig down and find my reading notes, and I can make sure that Walter Karp's notes are in there. And I thought it's interesting to go through the file structure, to me, or any nerd who is interested in file structures and all of that. So what will follow is my effort to record my file structures and show how I can dig back into my reading notes. And I keep all my reading notes in boxes now. They're behind me on a shelf. But it's something, one of the things in our family art museum. So here we go. I'll go to a directory. Here we are at our main directory for Emeralda. And we know that this is a publication, so we go to Perfect Press. It was a production. It was a production in software. And it was art student reading notes. And his name was Karp, K-A-R-P. So we go to Karp. And here's Walter Karp. Well, it looks like I only had one note in there out of all these cards. My goodness. Well, as a footnote to what I was doing, I discovered that at the bottom of that card, another book by Walter Karp called Where Do-Gooders Went Wrong. And it's about children's television. So that bears consideration. One of the great things about having your own museum and being your own curator is to go back and find these little gems. And in fact, this one about children's television is relevant to the work that I'm doing, which is part of my project, the kids' printmaking workshops. Oh, thanks again for watching. I'm Bill Ritchie.
Bill, where did you learn all this stuff you're doing?
I got a question. She asked me, how did I learn all this stuff about, making the videos, for example, and keeping track of my reading notes going back forever to the 70s. The answer is I learned it all in college. I took wonderful courses at both at Central Washington and San Jose State. And at the University of Washington, I took a course in video art. They taught video art in the art school, and it was a wonderful class. The students were incredible. Many of them went on to become important influencers in the Seattle arts community. I could tell you a lot of stories about the students in that video art class. Not only the students, but we had visitors from other departments taking part in those video art courses. I also learned how to use video to teach printmaking, which was my main field, what I was hired to do at the University of Washington. And then partway through the 70s, in the late, 79 I think it was, introduced computers, computer graphics, and managing distance learning using the mainframe on campus to connect art studios to the campus mainframe and do graphics that way and plot out the graphics in the mainframe computer plotter. That was 1980, 81, around in there somewhere. Wonderful courses. They were lightly structured. They were kind of actually more experimental than anything else, but that's where it started. And then I continued after leaving the UW. I bought my own computers and my own video systems and just kept going, kept practicing. And today I view these tools, these skills are like having gone to a school like our neighbors, the musicians, and learned to play on pianos and the rest of it, and then just continued practicing all my life, the same things. So I do enjoy it, and it terribly sedentary, that's the drawback, but I've also learned how to use the new technologies like the internet and all the tools that are on smartphones, so I can go walking and record myself talking or whatever. And of course, sharing it on Facebook like I'm doing right now. Thanks for watching. And that was a good question.
Thank you.